my brother.
It's good.
Inside the sports mind of Cori. So 15 questions. I'm going to pick your brain a little bit. Best point guard of all time.
Best point guard of all time. Have to go with Magic.
Best shooting guard of all time.
It's easy. Jordan.
Small forward.
Small forward. It's a hard one, but you gotta go with LeBron, probably. Yeah, LeBron.
Power forward.
Power forward. Best power forward of all time. Man, I think there's a lot of power forwards that are pretty, stacked together. So, watch, I'm gonna say a power forward, and then I'm gonna regret it later because I'm gonna think of somebody else. Man, see, I can tell you my favorites, but best all time. I'll say best all time power forward. Gonna have to go with KG, I guess.
Center. Best center of all time.
I'm gonna say I don't truly 100% believe in that last answer I gave because I feel that I'm gonna think about something else is gonna come up. Best center of all time. That's another hard one because it depends on what you need. The easy answer is Shaq. You can't go wrong with Shaq. Can't go wrong with Kareem. Can't go wrong with Wilt. You can't go wrong with any of those. So to come up with a best, I really don't have that answer.
All right, which one would you prefer if you was putting a team together?
If I was putting a team together, because of the type of team that I would try to put together, I'd go with Shaq because he's just dominant. But Wilt, people don't know about Wilt. But
yeah,
people who know about Wilt, and if you do your research, Wilt was a freak of nature. As big as he was fast, could jump through the roof. Wilt will be still dominant today's game in any era. So it's just hard because there's not much footage of him to really compare him. But if Shaq is calling him one of the greatest centers, and you got Kareem, it's hard. You got Bill Russell, 6'10", 11 rings. Like you asking the question that I don't know. You can't answer that unless you found out a way of putting together some type of machine where you can bring them all in the same present in their prime and just let them battle it out. And even then, you looking at
Still
a
ain't
game.
gonna know.
Yeah, even then you're gonna be looking at a game where it was they played to 11 and somebody won 9-11. You can't really judge off the best like that. So it's just that's hard. Like the easy one is best shooting guard. Jordan,
right?
Because he's the best ever. And then small forward, it's LeBron. I wouldn't start a team with LeBron, but just by the numbers and everything.
Best coach of all time.
Best coach of all time. You gotta narrow that down to a couple. Like, if you're going off just rings, you would have to put Steve Kerr up there, but Kerr didn't really build that team. But his system is nice, but it only works in today's game. If you're looking at best coach of all time, I'm going to be looking for me a coach who could play and who could coach his team in any era. So you got to be looking at Phil Jackson. You got to be looking at
Pop.
I almost forgot about Pop. Pop is a dope coach. He could play in any era. Definitely could. His team could play in any era.
It seemed like he went with whoever on his roster. He go get whoever they win in.
Right. Yeah, unknowns, he can get that. Undrafted players, he can
last year
bring their best out.
His starting point guard went down before the season started, and they still, did perfectly fine throughout.
Right. And then you can't forget about Red Auerbach or something. I got the name messed up, but the Celtics coach. Yeah. Back when they was winning all those titles. So forgive me on that for messing that name up, but. That's a legend. So, you got to give their props to where Pat Riley did a great job with the Lakers, too. But I'm going to go with Phil because that's what I know. I grew up during that time, and Phil did it with two different teams.
Right.
So, I'm going to go with Phil. But, anybody want to argue that I can't hold nothing against them. That's not an argument I'm gonna sit there and have with somebody else because they could be right on that one. That's not one I just feel that tight about.
Everybody healthy. Every player in the NBA healthy. Who the best player in the NBA if everybody's healthy?
Right now.
Yeah, if everybody's healthy.
KD. KD's the best player. It's just KD with a very close Kawhi right next to him. Because Kawhi, we saw how Kawhi was shooting that three ball.
Yeah.
Like, before, it was like everybody knew who Kawhi was, but they were like, oh, he was an inside player.
Right. With
that three ball the way it is right now, he's definitely been moved up. So he's right, I say he's moved into the second, and I would say tied with second with Kawhi is Giannis.
Well, you got Braun, because a lot of people watch this and be mad that you didn't say Braun was number 1 or 2. It's your opinion, because I got KD too.
I'm gonna be 100 with every answer I'm giving is just my personal answer. That's not me saying that this person isn't. LeBron healthy, I think, is number 3.
Oh, okay.
Right there. So that's just because of age. If this is 1 year earlier, and especially without him having that groin injury, I had predicted before the season started that right around this time he was about to start having some injuries. Yeah. It's just Father Time's undefeated.
17 seasons,
17 seasons,
deep
a
into
lot
the
of
playoffs.
miles on his body.
And he was going to the Olympics, 4 times in his career?
Yep. So, that mileage adds up. Me being an old dude, I know how it is. I've never had any major injuries, but you just your body's gonna start to wear down after a while. No matter how you can work out your muscles, you can't work them joints out. You can't work those ligaments out. You just hope that everything works out. Right. And that groin injury that he had, that was the one that did me in. I had that groin injury. That is a painful injury. To pop your groin, I don't think anybody really knows how bad that is.
Right.
So,
all right. I know we both Adidas guys.
Right.
So take the bias out. And I know you ain't tried them all on. You ain't, put them all on your feet. But who has the best looking signature shoe in the NBA right now?
This year?
Yeah, like in the NBA this season.
Can't answer that question. I haven't been following them that. Like I know what Harden's looks like.
Yep.
I know what the Currys look like.
Right.
I know what the Brons look like, and the Dames. So I know what some of them look like. I don't know enough of the different ones to know. But I did see Giannis wearing a pair
of his.
I don't know when. I'm guessing they were in the playoffs, but I saw it like last week.
Yeah. He
was wearing some type of Nikes. I know he signed with Nikes, and they were dope.
Yeah.
So I can say it won't be the LeBrons though. I can tell you what it ain't. Just the LeBrons have always had nice design.
They just
them
heavy.
Ones feel like bricks.
Yeah.
Like even when you just pick one up in the store, it feels like a brick. I don't know how people play in those and whatever, but they're a nice looking shoe. They've just always been heavy as hell. But me, I'm a T-Mac guy myself. I always wear T-Macs, and those new T-Mac Millenniums, them is dope. I've seen them wearing those this year. There's a lot of them young players wearing those.
Point guard, shooting guard duos. Who has the best backcourt in the NBA?
Point guard, shooting guard, best duo.
Because it's the best backcourt. Who's the best backcourt in the NBA?
Steph and Clay.
That's your opinion, man. You're right. I wanted to argue because I'm going with Dame and CJ, but hey, that's just me.
Dame and CJ are ballers, but they're not Steph and Clay. They're just off different things. Like if those two are going at it with them two, and it's a 2-1-2, that's going to be a good game. It's not like it's just something way out in your head, but it's not like it's Jordan and Pippen versus any duo in the NBA. That's just totally different. But Clay's the most underrated over. Like everybody talks about Steph, but Clay is on equal footing with Steph, and
he plays defense.
He plays defense, and honestly, he can get his shot off anytime.
Whenever.
And you never have to worry about Clay going cold. And man, if he misses his first 5 shots, every time he shoots it, you still think it's going in. Steph, as much as I'm a big fan of Steph, he's not my favorite player, but as much of a fan as I am of his, he can go cold at times, and you just need, once you see 2 of his threes go in, then you know it's a wrap. But if they're on him like that, and they're not falling, it can be like that. Clay, just give him his shots.
Right.
He's gonna get them.
So I heard you say Jordan and Pippen. Is that the best duo of all time?
I would put them up against any duo.
What about Shaq and Kobe? No, I'm just talking trash. I'm just talking trash.
Yeah.
If you could play for any team in the NBA, whether it was you right now or you when you was actually, the hooper you was.
Fat me ain't playing for nobody. So it had to been like 10 years ago or something.
Which team
like
would
that.
you play for? Like what team would it? So would it be like the 08?
Like it would have.
Like any team you want. Yeah,
any team
the
I want.
08 Houston Rockets, the 96 Bulls. 2016 Golden State team. Like what team would it be?
Man, do I get to say that they're healthy?
Yeah, everybody's healthy.
Everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
I'm going with the 2002, 2003 Orlando Magic. For real. That would be so... Hey.
But you take shots from T-Mac,
I take that back. I'm going 2003, 2004 Orlando Magic.
You taking shots from T-Mac. He ain't getting the scoring title.
Dude, man, I'm passing. Me at my best is passing it to... I'm going to have T-Mac, Grant Hill, and Sean Kemp.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's healthy, so that means Kemp ain't even fat. I get prime. If that Magic, I get to have Magic with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use my magical powers with this wish, and I'm bringing 96 Sean Kemp into the future. 04, man, that team we're going. I'm not saying they win anything, but that'll be a fun team to watch for me as a fan.
I'm pretty sure now I know the answer to this one. Any one player you could take a picture with, obviously, is it T-Mac?
If I could take a picture with one
player of all
time, it would honestly probably be Sean Kemp.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Like for my favorite players of all time, there's 2. There's T-Mac and there's Sean Kemp. Mm-hmm. Kemp made me want to play basketball. And it got me into it, made me start playing basketball. I had his shoes back then. Any of my friends from high school, they'll tell you, they till this day, they'll say something about, they'll send me a video on Facebook with Sean Kemp highlights just because I was just that much into it. And that was a long time ago. So it would definitely be like Kemp. And, it'd be Kemp because it just means a little bit different.
So if you could only get a picture with one or an autograph from one, which one would you get the picture with? Which one would you get the picture with Kemp and an autograph from T-Mac?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Was the NBA players better now, or was they better in like the 80s, 90s, like the end of the
90s era was better?
No, I'm talking about the players. Like with the players, so like the top 10 now, is they better than the top 10 in the 90s?
Nope. That I can't. Me personally, I could put together any 10 from the 90s to beat any 10 from now.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a ball. I do believe that the players today are more skilled, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They're more skilled. They spend more time in the gym. Obviously, the shooting is better. They're better shooters. But when you come to, let's say, we putting those 10 together in a game, we ain't talking about an NBA game. We showing up at the blacktop and playing. Jordan and them boys is killing.
Different.
First of all, I do believe Jordan and them by the third point can have some of them players in their feelings because the trash talk was on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton, obviously, I'm bringing him in on that 10, that point guard to lock down. Man, it's going to be...
So Kobe was drafted in the 90s. Is we putting him with the 2000s or we putting him in the 90s?
But see, you said now. So I don't consider the now players part of the 2000s. Like 2000s
yeah.
So it depends. Like I consider every 10 years a different era, basically.
Okay.
So like LeBron's like basically you got to put him in one of the things where he can go in either era.
Yeah.
Kobe can be a 90s or 2000 player, but he wouldn't be in my top 10 for the 90s because 2000s was when he just developed into that monster. Okay. Even though he was getting better at that time. It's just like T-Mac. T-Mac came out in 97. That's my guy, but I wouldn't
You would want him in that.
I wouldn't want 90s version of him. I want that 2002 and on version when he was just a monster.
Last question.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Rushmore. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? Mount Rushmore.
Basketball?
It's 4. So who, I guess is asking who your top 4 is.
Yep, I got it. I get it. Obviously Jordan, Magic, and none of them are my favorites. Like not even Jordan. I just respect him as the GOAT. Magic, because I think he's beyond basketball. He's one of the best point guards ever. But beyond that, what he does for basketball, he's just he's a great person. That's somebody you could put up there. You want somebody up there that ain't getting criticized later. I think you got, man, I think Bill Russell needs to go up there. I don't know enough about Bill Russell because he's before me. So I can't quote you stats and everything like that. And it wasn't a player I watched or a favorite player, but the man got 11 rings. I mean, that's a fact. And I know he played in an era where there was less teams and stuff, but he still had to go up against Wilt. And then, another rule we got to always remember, too, is, man, dude, it's about who lines up in front of you.
Right.
You got no choice over if there's only 10 teams in the league right now versus, 40 years later, there's 30 and then be getting docked from that. You took on whoever was winning. Plus, it's more concentrated. Let's say if there's only 15 teams.
I mean, they can focus in on you every year.
And then those 15 teams are stacked. It'll be like playing, like the 2K with the Legends, and there's absolutely only 15 teams.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to have – every team's going to be stacked beyond it because you got a smaller concentration of players and ain't watered now. But anyways.
Number 4.
Bill Russell. I want to say LeBron, but LeBron hasn't stopped playing yet. But I give him his respect. I'm not a LeBron fan at all.
So go ahead and put that man, Kobe.
You know what? Kobe's there too.
So that means you're taking Kobe off when LeBron retires.
No.
Or whoever you put it for. That means when LeBron retires, it's going to.
You said it's my Mount Rushmore.
No, I'm just trying to figure out because you was about to put him in. And then you say
I say he deserves to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm making sure I'm putting that down there. He deserves to be on it. But it's my Mount Rushmore.
Right.
So I don't know, man. Because if it's my Mount Rushmore, let me clear this up because I'm gonna redo it. My Mount Rushmore is not the top 4 players in the NBA history and stuff. So people can be like, "Oh, how you put them on there?" Stuff. These are would be my favorite players, and the guys who motivated me to get on the court and play basketball and stuff. So I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna start it over. Jordan, definitely because he was the greatest. Sean Kemp because he's the one who got me into basketball and made me want to play basketball. Tracy McGrady because during those years when Kemp retired and was done, that was who I switched over to.
Got all his shoes.
And he just did his thing. And then, you know what? I'm going to put KG on there. Not because he's better than any other power forward or any player or anybody that I'm overlooking because I know there's people better. But I'm from Minnesota, and he held down Minnesota for a minute. Yeah, for a minute. So that's my 4. Mm-hmm. But that, that's nobody can argue with me over, oh, that's a stupid one or not. That's just guys who motivated me to want to play basketball. But they're not I already know they're not considered the greatest except for Jordan.
Right.
But those are the guys who motivated me, and I think everybody gets motivated a different way to pick up that basketball.
Do you think last question for show this time. Do you think Tim Duncan is better than KG? I always say KG was the best player, but I've only ever seen him. I didn't start watching ball until.
See, here's the thing about those questions. Best player is just kind of wide open. Are you saying which player in a game of one-on-one would win? I would go KG every time. Are you saying which player would you start your team with? I would go with Duncan. But you can flip-flop those and go either way on what's right or wrong. So it's one of those things where it's like
it's all preference.
It's I wouldn't even say preference. I mean, it's just everybody's different. You might know somebody when you go to the gym, and when y'all go to the gym or whatever, you might know a dude who balls at when y'all go play pickup, and then y'all get in the league and he's trash because different scenarios work for somebody. It work for some people and it don't. So it's more than that. Even though that's not obviously referring to those two because they could play in anything. But I think Tim Duncan, I'm gonna start my team with him because he seems like he'll do whatever you want. KG's a dog though. KG's gonna do whatever your team needs to win too. So who's better? Who I prefer? I'm going with KG because if I'm starting I said Tim Duncan, but I've changed my mind. If I start a team, I like teams that run. I think KG's definitely running. He can handle the ball. KG can do everything.
Yeah, he get the rebound. He turns to the point.
You can't go wrong with Duncan though. Duncan's gonna do his thing. He's a baller. It's even between those two right there. But it comes down to that. Everybody asks the same question about teams who will win: Golden State,
or the 96
73
Bulls.
or the 96 Bulls. My first, all right. So the answer to that I'm gonna give you is Bulls is winning. But the difference in points is definitely gonna come down to what era. See, a lot of people never ask what era you.
Is it 4-3 or is it 4-2? What is it? Because you said the Bulls winning.
All right, what era though? That makes the
Can we make it? Can we put it like in the middle? Because wasn't there before? Because the 96 Bulls had different rules than they do. But wasn't there like a period where they was like in the middle, like 2008? Wasn't it different than both of these eras?
2008's more like this era. It's a little bit.
When Kobe and Shaq was winning those three-peats, both their rules different than when they was winning, or was it more like the 96 Bulls?
When their three-peat was more like the 96 era.
Oh, okay.
Well, the difference in eras. The difference in eras is basically when people say your eras is like how physical they're gonna let you be, and the hand checking rule.
If it's like 96, Steph and them ain't got no chance.
They ain't got no chance.
But if it's now, they got a chance because as soon as Jordan and them put their hands on them, they're going to be in foul trouble.
But what people forget is Jordan averaged, his highest season, he averaged close to 37 points a game in the hand-checking era.
I'm talking about his foul trouble because if he put his hand on Steph, they call it a foul.
You don't think Jordan can't guard?
I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying, you know how the NBA, James Harden don't be getting touched, and you see he going to the free throw line 12 times.
I get that, but who has Steph got fouled out? Like, when we watch Golden State and stuff, they blow them out by scoring and stuff like that, but you don't see nobody having foul trouble with them. They just get outshot on.
Yeah.
Pippen, you can put Pippen on anybody. People are asleep on Pippen.
And Dennis Rodman already said he's going to eat Draymond Green alive.
Yeah.
So I got a question. Would you put?
Rodman's gonna be all in.
Would you put
his head?
Would you put Scottie Pippen on KD or would you put Jordan on KD?
I'm putting Pippen on KD.
Oh, okay.
Pippen's gonna lock KD down. KD's gonna get his points in that mid range. If they send it down there, he can just turn around and shoot over. He's gonna get some of those. But if he got a dribble, it's, for real. For real, if he got a dribble, you got to put it on there. And then I'm putting Ron Harper on
Clay.
Just because of the mobility thing. I'm putting Jordan on Steph, and we're full court pressing. We already saw it happen.
Steph ain't going to be able to guard Jordan.
So here's the question: If Jordan averaged 37 during the hand checking before the Jordan rules came out, when Pippen and them, when the Pistons and them was just laying them out and everything, he was still putting up them points. What you gonna think he's gonna do this year? You talking about people fouling out? He's gonna foul out half of Golden State. Draymond almost fouls out during games in the playoffs right now. Rodman was flopping. He invented the flopping with getting people fouled out. I remember that 96 series again when I was watching against Kemp and them. And Rodman was just flopping and getting Kemp in the foul trouble against everybody. Y'all look it up, man. And Draymond's out. The first quarter, he's going to the bench. Then he's going to come back halfway through the second. He's going to pick up another 2 fouls. And he's fouling out. And he's going to get technicals because he's going to be pissed. Rodman's on basketball wise is too smart for that.
Yeah, make sure you say basketball.
Basketball wise, he's a genius, man. And he might be a genius outside of it, man.
We just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
That's what it is. Well, those are my answers. Like
of course,
I said, anybody can argue with.
That's why it's called inside your mind, not our mind. We don't know nothing. So thank you.
Got you.